Hi everybody, John here with another Fincast, and look what Santa Claus brought me this year, a brand new MP-40 quiet drive. In this Fincast, we'll be unboxing it and making waves in the aquarium.
Oh, we use the extreme fish food quite a bit in our shop. We like it very much. It's very palatable for the fish. A lot of times fish that don't eat other things will eat the pellets, which is a great thing.
Hi once again everyone, John Carlin here with another Fincast, and I am so excited about this Christmas gift that my son Ben actually gave me for Christmas, but it's a VorTech MP-40 from EcoTech Marine. The MP-40 is the first pump that I ever saw that was designed with the ability to create a back and forth motion or a wave in your aquarium. And as far as I'm concerned, this is still the standard by which all wave-making pumps in the aquarium are judged. And I actually had a chance to meet the guys from EcoTech. A few years ago, we were out diving on the reefs off of the Florida Keys. Actually, I was snorkeling and they were diving, and they were working with the Coral Restoration Foundation on that particular day. We had a couple of beers afterwards, and I got to know them a little bit, so we had a big day. But I'll tell you what, this is the first quiet drive MP-40 that I have ever owned personally. We use them in a lot of our accounts for Carlin Aquarium Systems, but this is the first one that I've ever had the opportunity to put on one of my own aquariums. So we're going to unbox this now, because I'll tell you what, EcoTech is to the aquarium world, as far as I'm concerned, as Apple is to the computer world. Everything is done beautifully. Everything is done right, and the box is something that you probably will want to keep even after you take all the contents out. So let's get to it. Okay, here we go. The MP-40 from EcoTech Marine. We're opening up the box, and voila, there it is. Look how nicely everything is put together in there. This will be some of the adhesive that you use to attach the various pieces to the aquarium. So that'll be very useful. And this will go on the outside of the tank. Man, that is heavy. I'll tell you what, that is a heavy piece right there. And this is the actual impeller that'll go in the aquarium. Comes with a mesh around it to keep your anemones off of it. So that is something that'll go right into the fish tank. And then this is your quiet drive controller. And look at that. That's going to be beautiful. And that's how you create your wave. So that is going to be awesome. And then this is a thickness spacer. If you have glass that is not quite thick enough, you don't want the magnet to be to attach too closely through the glass. So there it is. There's the unboxing. Let's get it on the aquarium. Pretty basic here, but here's everything that came out of the box. There's the quiet drive, which comes attached. So once everything was out of the box and laid out, it's pretty easy to install the MP-40. In fact, EcoTech has some very easy to follow tutorials on their website, and I literally just follow them. Probably the most important aspect of all of this is measuring the width of your glass, and make sure that you measure the side that you're actually going to install the power head on, because if you've ever noticed, and maybe you haven't, the glass on the ends of the aquariums is typically thinner than the glass on the front and the back, because it has to span a farther distance on the front, so they need thicker glass so it doesn't break. So make sure when you do the measurement that you actually measure the side. Now this is my 120-gallon reef. My end width was 3/8 of an inch, while my front width was 1/2 an inch. So there was a big difference, but I just measured and it was easy. And in this case, I had to choose the medium spacer for my 120, and that worked out just fine. So I put the spacer on the outside or the dry side, and then what you do is you simply affix the dry side. They recommend that you put the little sticky unit with the zip tie on there first, and that holds it in place and gives you a nice straight line up to the top of your aquarium. Then you can route the cord so you don't see it, which is also what I did. And then literally you just put the wet side on, and you're good to go. You mount the controller underneath on the stand on the side, and it comes with some Velcro options, so I put that on. And then once you have it all set up and you have it plugged in, now you've got a pretty sophisticated pump, and you can do all kinds of things with it. If you look in the directions, you can make it a tidal lagoon, you can do the wave, you can do a simple pulse, and I decided to go ahead and set up the wave. And once again, that's probably the most quote-unquote complicated thing that you can do with this pump, but it was not difficult at all. I followed the directions. There's a short little video on the EcoTech website, and so I decided to set up just a small wave, and you can make it so that water is sloshing back and forth in your aquarium if you want. I wanted to see how my aquarium reacted to basically what we'll call a small to medium wave, and so I set that up. Now, that's where I left the aquarium when I had the lights off. I came back later and wow, the tank looked great. And the first thing I noticed is that the corals are moving back and forth in the current much more than they were with the 2 power heads that I had in the aquarium before. So now you've got that nice back and forth motion in the fish tank. When you read around on the internet, you read the forums, there's lots of indication that corals prefer a back and forth motion, and anemones prefer a back and forth motion. I don't know how they know. Obviously in the ocean it's back and forth, and obviously in an aquarium where you have power heads going in one direction, it's not. So I guess it replicates what's in the ocean. I don't know if a coral knows the difference between back and forth, but for whatever reason, it's certainly, I think, more interesting to watch all of that. So I like that. I think the aquarium is prettier. There is that question about, is it better for corals? I've only had it set up as I'm speaking to you now for a couple of days, so I don't know. But again, this is part of the automation of my tank, and if you haven't looked at the earlier parts of this series, parts 1, 2, and 3, where I've kind of redone the sump and everything, you'll see that now, I've automated the wave motion of the tank. That's that's not something that you can not automate. Either you have it or you don't, but it's certainly an upgrade for the tank. And then, of course, one thing that people don't talk about is that with the water going back and forth, you get much more nutrient removal from the fish tank because you don't get the eddies where the water swirls behind a piece of live rock or something and detritus accumulates. So now with the back and forth motion, that stuff gets out into the water column, and your filtration can remove it from the tank. So that is clearly a plus. I will say that as soon as I turned on the pump, I wanted to see how my sea bay anemone reacted, and when I came back and the lights were on, it had floated out of the spot that it had been holding on to for 4 or 5 weeks, and there it was in the front of the aquarium, and it's having a hard time deciding where it wants to be. I've put it up on some rocks, thought that would work. It seemed to be attaching, came down the next morning, boom, it had moved again. So the wave motion clearly had an impact on what the anemone thought about where it wanted to be in the aquarium, and as I speak, it's still searching, so I'll continue to keep you posted on that. And then, of course, once I saw the anemone was moving, I felt like I had to replace that foam covering on the outside of the wet side of the pump, because I certainly didn't want the anemone being sucked in. The other thing I noticed was when I put the dry food in, that it immediately was distributed all throughout the aquarium. So the fish, every part of the aquarium, when I put the coral food in, I know that the coral food will be distributed to every area of the aquarium, and clearly the distribution, because of the flow in the tank, is much better now with the wave motion that comes from the MP-40. So that's a look at the MP-40 from EcoTech. It was my Christmas present. We've used them on client tanks. It's the first time I've ever personally used one, and the most opportunity I've ever had to kind of play with it, and I'll continue to do that. But right now I'm tickled to death with the wave motion that I was able to set up. And there are probably 5 or 6 or 7, I don't know, I'll have to count the number of settings, but you can do a lot of different things with this pump, and they make it very easy to do. And I will tell you that it's very quiet. I do not, when I sit next to the aquarium, I don't hear that pump operating at all. So that's it for this Fincast. Please click around on Fincasters.com or on YouTube/Fincasters. All the videos are there. Working on a planted tank project coming up soon with freshwater shrimp. You'll be seeing that here before the end of January 2016. It's a project that I'm doing with CCAM and some of their new products, so I think you'll really enjoy that as well. In fact, I'm ordering the plants for that project today, right after we finish this video. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next Fincast.